All right, so I'm test streaming from the GoPro instead of my phone today and seeing if the hotspot from my phone functions differently than the cell service. I think the reality of the situation is that I'm in an access where I'll never have an issue live streaming in 1080p because I believe the AT&T tower is actually parked on this property. Not parked, but on this property. I think they sold an easement of their property for the tower a long time ago, and I believe it's an AT&T tower. But this is a private access. A very generous neighbor reached out to me and offered for me to come back and park on their land to be able to access the South Fork directly rather than having to hike so much if I wanted to, which is great because these conditions are, we're in drought conditions. The creeks really are not moving. I checked on a few creeks this morning. I got out real early and decided to go ahead and go check on some stuff, and 3 of the creeks were stagnant. There was just no flow at all. So those are done, and they were already kind of like shallow creeks to begin with. So there's nothing there anymore at the moment. We got to wait for some real weather to come through, or it might just be seasonal. This is my first, really technically second season doing this, and by that I mean literal seasons. I started doing this in the spring, maybe mid-late spring, and then we're now in summer, so I have 2 seasons of experience under my belt. I don't know what these creeks look like year to year, aside from the couple times that we've brought the kids to the beach, So anyway, I say all that to say that we're at the South Fork. We have a very kind neighbor. I really appreciate your generosity allowing us to be here, because look at this. This is so cool, man. Right out his back door. That's such a great way to start. I'm on a cut in half old finesse worm that got kind of torn up that I've been fishing, and oh man, he's strong. These fish are so strong for their size. So I wonder if this will make it easier to use my phone and stream at the same time. All right, I think I got him. Where's the hook at, man? I got you in the roof of the mouth. Way up deep, damn. All right. That's a nice fish to start, man. I've been catching a lot of sunfish in a lot of places. I still had this on there from yesterday when I was fishing out at the other South Fork access. One of the other South Fork accesses. So I figured I would just start on it. Been catching a lot of sunfish and wanted to kind of target the bigger ones today. I've been in smaller waters lately, but this should prove to be pretty decent. We have a good long stretch ahead of us, either way, upstream or downstream. It's both pretty good. I've been through here before, but I came in through a different access. And like I said, that's when my neighbor reached out to me, and not technically my neighbor, but down the road, reached out to me and offered to remove the walk. I am disabled to some degree. That might be something to share with people that don't actually know me. I suffer from injuries. I of the past. I bumped my head. I suffer from a traumatic brain injury, among other things. You know, I crushed both my wrists and fractured my back and, you know, a bunch of fingers and my left knee and all that. Anyway, that's kind of why I am the way I am, the way I talk, the way I talk. I get kind of lost in thought. I didn't lose any processing power after bumping my head, but the way things kind of link up and the way things organize in my brain are much different now than they used to be. People will say the most obvious things, and I can't grasp it the first time, you know. It's almost, when they say it, it's almost too simple to understand for me. It's really weird. We went to the beach and, you know, there wasn't a whole lot of people on the beach. Very few cars there, and it was our first time really exploring it with the kids. And you know, I just kind of followed them to the end of the beach just to, you know, sightseeing along the way to see where would be a good place to park, and we just ultimately just parked at the end of the beach. She's like, look, we'll split the difference with you. Y'all can have the rope swing. It's like, oh, we're not here to rope swing anyway, you know, our kids are real small. And she just kind of stared at me. She's like, are you staying here? So yeah. Well, where would I go? So yeah, she didn't, people, you know, I don't get the obvious anymore. The obvious doesn't come to me. But in many ways, I didn't lose any intellectual capabilities. Otherwise, it's just weird. Anyway. So this all kind of functions as sort of a physical and mental therapy for me. Mental health has been much better since I've gotten back into fishing and started doing this. It relieves a lot of anxiety and gives me a lot of peace and time to think. I don't sleep very well anyway, so getting up early doesn't really bother me anymore. That and when it's sandy, gravelly bottoms like this, the exercise is very low impact, you know, doesn't really strain any joints, any issues that I have from the past. So it's just a good form of exercise too. It's a lot of resistance, especially when the current's going. I think the first time I waded this, I was chest deep. I'm now knee deep. I'm in kind of a deeper part of it. Let's see. I wanted to go upstream, but I'm waiting for daylight savings time to happen because we're now to the part where it's getting darker, or it's getting daylight later, and we need to wait for the time change. I'm down to only having an hour and a half, hour and 45 of fishing time, you know, by the time I can see to when I really need to be back at the vehicle and get going home. I've been getting up at my normal time, and every day it's just getting later and later. It's getting daylight later and later, so I'm going casting into the trees apparently. I'm going around checking different accesses that I haven't checked in a while, just looking for different places to go test for the live stream. Oh jeez, oh my god, that must have been a beaver back there. But yeah, I made this dude do somersaults across the water. I didn't even yank him that hard. Pretty little bass. I have no idea how the stream is going or looking. Let me check that real quick. Is this a... I think this is a largemouth. A little largy. Yeah. Alright. What else? Oh, I wanted to check the stream health and see how that's panning out. Still looks to be pretty decent. I'm trying to gauge how far I can, I can go upstream and downstream from a given access that has good connectivity. I really don't want to have to carry around extra equipment. I already hurt as is, so I don't really need to add more weight than my pack. And there's sunfish back there. In my pack, and wearing the GoPro and all that already. So the live stream from the phone didn't really work out, at least not at the access I was at. This is what we're testing the GoPro today. We're gonna, I want to see if the hotspot functions differently from just like the standard cell service that we're offered by AT&T. Something's bumping the back of my leg. What is bumping the back of my leg? A piece of bark kept floating up and was following the flow of the water from me walking. It was weird. Tapped my left leg to my right leg, and it was, what is it trying to nip at me, Sunfish. So anyway, testing live streams at different locations by various methods to determine what we can and cannot do given our current circumstance, and try to avoid investing too heavily and having to carry around a bunch of gear and all that. This would be a great place to bring a kayak maybe, and float, a paddleboard, possibly even the boat, and just kind of push with an oar. Use it as a push pole. The boat might even be pretty good in here if we could get it down here reasonably well, easily. I know when it's deeper, it would be usable. Could even troll through here probably. This whole stretch was pretty calm. It had some flow up there by the grass. But now that everything is real drought stricken, I don't really know what to expect, other than just a whole lot of dry. I think I had something on, but I didn't set the hook. I'm gonna cast back here. I feel like this area has been more spotted in largemouth than smallmouth. The past few times I've fished it, I have a ton of footage to go through and edit and make videos. Finding the time to do it is the hard part. I'd much rather fish than make videos. This wasn't supposed to be a job, but we'll see what happens. If it becomes, or has the potential to, and naturally kind of develops that way, we'll do it. But I've kind of done, aside from, editing more videos, I've kind of done what I think I'm gonna do. I'd like to be able to live stream in 1080p from, at least have a choice of accesses. It doesn't necessarily have to be everywhere, so I don't necessarily need the hot spot and all that if we can find some places that have good fishing and good service. Some fish pulling along at it. the whole way. And beyond that, I just want to be able to make some decent videos that kind of tell a story and show an access, you know, fish it one day, fish around the access, you know, kind of like a discovery fish, and then next morning I'll go back for another couple hours and fish it upstream, and then fish it downstream the next day, and that'll just be like a video, you know, just kind of show an access, what's reasonable, what's a reasonable trip for everyday people that only have a couple hours in the evening or something like that. Show the kids what they can go do, you know, with just a couple hours at a time every morning. They can go explore. They don't have to go fishing. They can go hunting. They can go hiking, go bird watching, you know, whatever they want to do. There's so many places out here you can just go. It's actually kind of insane. I was originally getting a little disheartened because I couldn't find public waters to fish, but I was only looking for ponds, lakes, you know, beaches on lakes. Those are hard to come by out here. So it's like, man, there's nothing to fish. And then we got a wild hare one day to go hike Tenmile Creek and fish it, and we caught bass, and the rest is history, as they say. I've been out here 6 or 7 days a week, not at this access, but just driving around to different waters. For the past 2.5, 3 months now. I go out and fish for an hour and a half, 2 hours every morning. And it's awesome. It's great to just be able to go do this and not have to get out on a boat. The boat's awesome too, don't get me wrong. I love boating, but I do prefer to stand and fish. There's no maintenance in wade fishing. You just have to not get injured. Proper gear helps that. But I'm not doing anything hardcore anyway. This is all easy walking. Oh, went way further than I thought it would. Cast of that log. Did I not set the hook? He just kind of spit it out. I thought I set it, man. I'm trying to get better about like what I did to that little fish earlier. Just yanking them to the freaking moon. Trying to be a little more finessey with it, I suppose. That is an ugly rig, but worms are not always straight, right? Anyway, that felt like a pretty good fish, but I think he just spat it out. I mean, it didn't even feel like he shook it. Yeah, I jerked it to the left and to the right, and he just kind of went with it for a little while. It felt like a good fish too. Kind of sad to lose that one. Now I got sunfish tapping at it. Really downgraded there. See if he decided to go over this way after getting pulled out of his home. There's a sunfish hit. Big boulder right there. I love that I can see all this stuff now. Oh, sunfish dragged me down behind something. There we go. Oh, there's a big fish. I saw a belly kind of when it jerked out from under. Oh, jeez. What a mess, man. That's why I don't cast from the left side. But anyway, whenever it came unsnagged, I saw a fish kind of flop around and flash its belly. Looks like there's turtles in here too. I think I've got a bunch of cool accesses lined up to go fish in the near future. Green sunfish. Not terrible. I've had bigger. Gotcha, dude. Verify where it was before I tore them all up. Look at that worm. I'm gonna let it ride, see what happens. I want to throw in some top water and see if they hit it. We had a little bit of rain last night, just enough to kind of wet the ground. I don't think it, I mean, you can see there's no flow there. Even at the South Fork, they have, you know, there is flow. They're not completely dry like the creeks are at the moment, but we did get some rain, and I want to see how that might affect the topwater bite. Cool the waters down, you know, maybe get them out from under some structure a little bit. Be a little more willing to work for their food. A lot of algae and stuff forming because it's so low. Just dragging through algae. Like some sunfish chasing some stuff around down there. I'll go fish this section up here. There should be a bend up here somewhere. I didn't know if I would have time to walk and fish to it today, but it can certainly be a weekend activity. There's like an S bend. It looks like it has a bunch of good fishing, at least from the bird's eye view on the map. But it's a little bit of a walk. Unfortunately, this access doesn't get us really any closer to it. This is downstream of Tenmile Creek, so I actually have to get to Tenmile Creek and then go up further. So I think it's really ultimately about the same distance, starting at Tenmile Creek or starting over at this property. I'll have to check the map and see where we are. I'm not sure how far up we are. This looks like could be some great fish in this area though. There's some fish. I could let that go further. There's also a bunch of algae I'm dragging in, so. I think that's maybe what makes the creeks a little unfishable, is really just the algae forms so early when they get shallow. It's not that the fish aren't necessarily there. I think the big ones have all found deep holes or have gone downstream, but it just becomes a chore to fish it because you're constantly pulling off algae and grass and whatever other muck. It's like a pool of algae, you know. There's some fish. Made a fool of me there. I didn't know what was happening. Rocks on my shoe. I feel like I'm probably reaching the limits of my mobile hotspot. Do we want to fish this? Kind of far back. Oh, hit myself. So. Oh, stream health increased. All right, so I think the tower on his property is not the AT&T tower, but technically, not technically, we're going upstream. Upstream is where the AT&T tower is. So we're naturally kind of headed that way. So there might be a good long stretch through here that we can hopefully live stream from our mobile hotspot and not have to worry about getting a separate service. That'd be That'd be really neat. Carry a battery pack and a hotspot and all that, man. Bigger backpack. Just getting to be a little, sounds like it'd be getting to be a little much. Okay, what do we have here? Is there a way to pause, or how do you do any of that with this app? I don't know. All right. Trying to look at the map, figure out where it was, and look at settings. I don't know that I'm able to. I don't think I have many options aside from just like ending the stream and restarting it to go through some of that stuff. I almost just want to put just this little tip on there now. Got too much of it. Yeah, look at that. See if the fish will eat it. There was a pretty decent topwater strike. Oh boy, that went straight into the tree. Yeah, all right, cool. Nope. I have a bad habit of doing this. Yeah, we'll cinch it down. That fine braid doesn't sink to the ground, it just floats in the air, so it ends up getting knotted up around the tip of the rod after the lure comes flying like that. All right, we're still gonna try it. This is all super shallow, looks a couple feet deep maybe. So yeah, I think I'm gonna put on some top water. I think this is a little much, and I'm just getting wrapped up in all kinds of muck. And besides, it was a topwater strike, so we'll see what happens. Am I having any heating issues? No? The GoPro, when I'm recording in 5.3K footage, so I can cut both shorts, you know, vertical video and horizontal video without sacrificing a whole lot of quality. When I record in that 5.3K, this thing overheats like every 10-15 minutes. I gotta stop and open it up, cool, you know, let it cool down, put in a new battery because it just drains the battery super fast. This setup so far has proven to be more efficient. I was able to stream for just over 2 hours on my phone with just my phone battery alone, but I don't, where I was anyway, the quality wasn't there. It was basically unwatchable after going back and looking at it. So testing this access, testing a different setup, trying to figure out what'll work and what won't. I'm gonna put on the glitter shad spook. I also need to check the time to see how much time I have left to be out here. I'm gonna look around for some more of these Zara puppies. This is the glitter shad, 1/4 ounce. So they're good for some of the ultralight stuff. I'd like to get some different patterns. I have a baby bass pattern. I have the kind of silver and black pattern, and then I have this one. I'd like to get one with some color to it, yellows and reds and things like that. I'd also like to get just a straight black one. I should have brought my black popper. I think I have the plopper with me. So if nothing hits on this, we might try the plopper as well. It should create a good contrast against the sky. Baby bass probably would be good too. Had a really weird action. Yeah, the waters are calm and they're shallow, they're clear. It's just the baby bass pattern probably would have been great too. The glitter shad has been the one that's really caught some fish for me. The other ones have done a little bit less. I've lost some big fish on this thing recently, actually. Big fish, I think, have just come up and slapped it when I've been working it past them. I don't think they were necessarily trying to bite it, and they end up ripping themselves off, you know, if they get hooked in the sides or whatever. It was a hit. I was sleeping at the wheel. Small tap. Oh, right there. I don't know if that was a bass or a river red horse. I couldn't see the tail. They both kind of have that gray color going to them. What is this guy? That might be a smallmouth. I can't really see its mouth shape. Anyway, there's a lot of bottom suckers in here anyway, so nothing really to be concerned about. There's plenty of fish, I'm sure. We just got to go find them. It's also just very shallow in here. Find it to be worth checking if anything has moved in shortly after we have gone through. Sometimes we'll spook a fish downstream, or some are even attracted to it, it seems. Just the movement of the water. I think I'm dragging algae just under the surface. Yeah. Where'd those topwater strikes go? Come on, fish. I don't think it'd be too far of a stretch to say that there's probably not a whole lot of bass right in this stretch of water here. Too far-fetched to say, is what I meant to say. I think we need to get somewhere where it's... Why is my spook underwater? This thing's supposed to float. I heard a big splash back here. I heard a big splash. It sounded like it was back behind that grass though. Something small tried to grab it. I mean, some fish are fearless. They go after all kinds of stuff. Anything hiding in here? Not now. I think it wants to eat what I'm throwing. That was a strike. Footprints. Somebody's been here. It's been a while since I've been here, so I don't think those are mine. There's something back there jumping. It's one of the neat things to see is you know, I'm single-handedly manipulating nature, which is unfortunate for many reasons, but you can see, you know, the bait fish run from the lure when it plops in sometimes, and that causes the big fish to come out. Oh, something tried to grab it. I was just trying to get it to unwrap itself so it could action properly. Something grabbed it while I was under. That's all. It's acting funky. Anyway, you get to see, you know, the bait fish move out of their natural spots, and then you get to see all the big fish, you know, come out and eat them. It's kind of a real cool feeding frenzy that you get to see happen. You just kind of, you know, the big fish are there anyway, waiting for the small fish, so it's not like really wreaking havoc. It's more what would be the word? I'm the catalyst for it. That's the word. Searching for vocabulary is another one of my quirks. Things just don't line up. I get things out of order. Things get disorganized and I get confused a little bit. And then searching for vocabulary is also one of my... I don't know why this thing's acting so funky. Another one of my battles. So it sounded like there was a big splash back here whenever I was walking up. You kind of see all that. You can see any fish moving around. Something's trying to get it. There's another bottom sucker right there. Something was trying to get it. Our goal today was to try and filter out some of the sunfish. So we have a lot more water to fish here. I need to check the stream health and see if it's still even watchable. We saw a big bass try to jump up out of the water and eat a bird the other day at one of the accesses at the Allen Fork. It was really neat. I don't think I had talked about it in any other footage, so I'm going to talk about it here. We pulled up, I was taking the kids to the beach, and as we were pulling up to the end of the beach, a bass breached the water and tried to swipe at a bird that was swooping down. Looked about the size of a seagull. I don't know what kind of bird it was, but it was about that size. Whoa. Caught the grass. Alright, I need to check time and stuff real quick. Stream health, still excellent right here. Battery is good, 7 o'clock. I got about an hour to get back to the truck. GoPro battery. %. It's not bad. I don't like how I have like basically no control over the stream. Doing it this way, I do like the setup, I think, a little bit more. I'm probably talking down straight into the microphone, so it's probably really loud. I apologize if there's even anybody watching. I do like the setup more. The GoPro is lighter to carry. I'll have to test a mobile stream with just the phone to see if the cell service just functions differently than it loaded as a hotspot. Things run cooler. I'm currently not overheating, though I am only in 1080p, so footage will not be as crisp and nice, but I may be able to look into streaming 4K here just because the towers are so close. I'm going to head up to where the water is flowing, fish that a little bit, and then probably head back from there. I think I heard a big splash up there. I'll check the map and see where I'm at. Yeah, see, I haven't even made it to Tenmile Creek yet. Tenmile Creek is about the 2/3 point to get to that S shape, that S bend that I want to get to. And Tenmile Creek is just about as long as the walk from this other access to Tenmile Creek, so yeah, it's what and what. So yeah, I think this flow right here wraps a beach on the left side eventually that leads us to Tenmile Creek. We're not far from it, so maybe we'll just fish up to it and head back. Unless there's something interesting downstream real quick. Let me see. Looks like there's a bend downstream that we could get to instead. Let me go fish where this water outlets, outflows, flows out, whatever you want to call it. Terminate. No, it doesn't really terminate, does it? Feeds. Let's just go do that, and then we'll maybe try and hit downstream at that bend if we can make it in time. I see all kind of fish moving. I couldn't tell what kind, but I didn't expect to step into the stream and then just now be spooking out. I've been standing here talking over it for a minute. Thought they would have been gone. Might just be the bottom suckers anyway. Something's trying to grab it, it seems. Just because it was wrapped up on itself. Treble hook classic right here. Though it might be entirely self-inflicted with the snap swivel, honestly. That might be the actual issue. This one in particular gets a little more bound up than others that I've used in the past. It's big fish jumping in front of me. Presumably from bigger fish. Bass may not hit top water. I don't know. Still trying to figure out the whole top water thing. Might be more of a fall thing. Sometimes, you know, whenever they're aggressively feeding or protecting their nests, things like that. That might just be a thing. It's shallow and I just immediately hit something that gets it fouled up and can't action properly. I wonder how many other people make their way up through here. Shallow. Not even ankle deep. some fish popping up. A big bass just hiding in there. Something got spooked by it. I got grass on it or something. I can't get it there. Yeah. It's hard to fish shallow water like this. Oh, he almost got himself wrapped up. I think it's just a sunfish knocking at it. Felt like one of the hooks made contact, didn't actually dig into him. Let's see what this stretch up here has to offer. It looks like from here it looks like it might get a little deep. Deeper than this anyway. And this is the front 60% of this is basically unfishable for anything other than tiny sunfish. This might be the opening to Tenmile Creek right up here. Kind of neat that I can cover access to access in a given morning. I'd like to be able to do that and walk like entire stretches of the river. It'd be really neat to start at where it basically terminates into the other forks or whatever, where each fork terminates, just hike it upstream and go miles, just access by access. Water. Getting a few hits on it. I just don't know if we've come across any bass per se. But it's either small bass or like green sunfish or something tapping at it, but I don't. Either just completely missing it or just trying to slap it and not necessarily eat it. At least that one a little early. There's still a fish in there that was interested. I'm gonna just recast it. Not a whole lot of this is looking great. Got him. There we go. I think he took four nips at it before he successfully hooked himself in the neck. Good job, man. Alright. First sunfish of the day. Barely hooked himself. Beautiful little fish. The big ones are real fun, especially on the ultralight. I would love to set up, Alex and I have talked about, setting up a little aquarium type deal at the house to see if we can maybe recreate kind of a natural creek setting of sorts, still be more like an aquarium than a creek, obviously, but if we could populate them with some of these native fish, that'd be super cool. Maybe do a little experiment with a little kiddie pool and see if we can keep some in the shop. Let the kids walk around and feed, let the kids be able to walk around it and watch them swim around in the plants and feed and that sort of deal. We can throw some stuff to them to feed them. Oh, if we can figure out a way to get them to survive. That soil was really loose there. Something's chasing it. Something small is going to get himself wrapped up in my troubles here in a second. Oh, a tree fell. I don't think this was down last time we were here. Was this? No, this is relatively new. This tree is still got some green leaves on it and stuff. I don't remember encountering this obstacle last time we came downstream from Tenmile Creek, which is indeed just around the corner. Not even around the corner, it's just up this bend. Just the bend. This beach. Right up this beach. I do have time to come check it out. I just won't be able to go to that bend downstream necessarily anymore, which is fine. I'll just fish this area. Check the stream health. This is a good place to do it, man. I'm gonna try to do it in 4K as well and see if I can capture some better footage. I'm also going to, if we could find a place where we could stream 2-3 times a week, that'd be awesome. There's the beautiful thing about it is that the forks act like creeks when the drought happens. When the creeks dry up, the forks dry up too, so they become the creeks. I'm throwing this super high into those branches. So very similar style of fishing. Just the waters are a little bit wider in a lot of areas. That was a good hit, but I missed him. something. Well, there's a nice little bass in there. Or is that a sucker? There's a sunfish that taking 8, 9, 10 pops at it, but I'm looking at the bigger fish in the water trying to figure out what it is. I'm just slowly kind of still working this thing just to give it its normal action. And all right, no picture of you, that's fine. You worked for that. Just trying to see what the potential of the bigger fish was. Sometimes they just kind of land funky, or the trebles get caught up on the lure itself and give it a real funky action. It's not even necessarily anything else. So yeah, next time we access this, we're going to go downstream. To get upstream, I think we're just going to walk Tenmile Creek instead. Still getting some hits. Bunch of sunfish chasing it. Real shallow. Real shallow. The issue with the forks, like I said, is that, you know, it's still got water in them. It's just a lot of sections are real wide. Real wide, so there's not a whole lot of deep water. And then the flip side is they also just have really long, deep stretches that are still just kind of unfishable. Still just too much water. You need to get a paddle board or a kayak or something to be able to float through them. Oh. Alright, bounce. I'm definitely not gentle on my equipment, that's for sure. What a mess. Oh boy, how do I do this? This is the beautiful thing about the video is I can cut out all of this. I don't know what to do about this part in the live stream. Boy, it is wrapped up everywhere. I bent one of my treble hooks, ripping this thing out of something. Let's try to get that fixed as well. Alright, one treble is free. Never had them wrap up on the lure, I don't think. Not doing that anyway. It usually wraps up on the rod. So I don't give it enough consideration, I suppose, to being a problem. All right, the lure is undone. I'll pop it off real quick and try and get this stuff unknotted before it cinches down. Probably best if I close the snap. Probably would have taken less time to just retie, to be completely honest. Which I kind of needed to do anyway. This leader's beat up. This braid is knotted up in some areas. I'm just going to do that. It'll take me no time to retie. We'll fish right here at the beginning of Tenmile Creek, and then we'll just head back from there. We've got 30 minutes or so. See how beat up is the leader. It's pretty torn up. Well, the part that is tied anyway, we could probably just shorten it and keep using it. Maybe just with 2-3 feet, that should be fine. Alright. Welcome to another fish tying, or not tying session with Jason. .30. You know, I really don't know how to control or view stream. Like, I can pull up the stream on YouTube, but I don't know how to manage the stream at all. I can't like hide the video, I can't turn off the audio, I can't pause it. I just have to basically terminate the stream. And then oh my god, I turned it on in the background to see what was going on. Yeah, no, I don't know how to stream from the GoPro. I have no idea how I can control the stream at all, other than start stop. It's about my options, so. That's what it's gonna be. All right. Should we pick up our trash? And then I'm also going to retie this snap swivel because it is pretty beat up, or at least the knot and the first 6 inches or so of it. Pretty beat up, so I'm just going to get some fresh line in that knot. Starts right about there. That's where it gets bad. See, I'll cut off the first 5 inches of it or so. Am I in the right spot here? Excellent, that's a Palomar knot. Easy peasy. I think the strongest knot you can tie for things like this, just terminal tackle. Pick up your trash at the beach, please. Okay. And we're just going to do a double uni knot. I have not taken the time to learn the FG knot. Truly learn it. You know, I've watched some tutorials, but I need to sit down and actually practice. So my solution for the double uni knot breaking, since it breaks at like half of line strength, was just upping the line. So now I'm on 8-pound braid, 10-pound leader, and this setup is, I say now, this is kind of what I've been running. I started on 8-pound to 6-pound leader. 6-pound leader was just getting shredded and snapped in a lot of different areas. So I upped it to 8-pound, upped it to 10-pound. 10-pound seems to be a pretty good spot. But the issue was that the knot kept breaking, and instead of learning to tie a stronger knot, put on heavier tackle just to remove the issue entirely. And for the most part, it's worked. As long as I'm paying, you know, attention to my leader and don't let it get too frayed up. I haven't really lost a whole lot of tackle recently. So I did down in Louisiana, lost a buzzbait, brand new buzzbait. It's unfortunate, but what can you do? Alright, I do about 5 or 6 wraps on the floor side, and I do about 8 on the braid side, just because the braid is so thin. Don't take that as advice. That's just what I do. I'm not good at this. I usually have a lot better hold of this. I don't know what I'm doing. I think that was 6 or 7. I'll do one more just for good measure. Alright. There we go. Alright. Struggling. I don't think I lost any wraps there. Oh, well. Boy, oh boy, what a mess. I can't keep my hands on it. The line is so fine. Try this one more time. I'm going to slap another couple on there. I think I might have lost someone that will last. A little slip. Alright, that'll do. And they just slide together. Lubricate your line. Double uni knot. Usually they're very fast and easy to tie. My hands are just not working very well this morning for whatever reason. Some days are better than others. pick up your trash at the beach. That's the knot all trimmed up. Good enough. I could probably trim up that floral piece just a little bit more, but it's not a big deal. Oh, you know, I totally forgot about that knot in my braid upstream. Seems to be doing pretty good though. So I'm gonna leave it. I'm also gonna bend this. This treble got bent out a little bit. I'm gonna bend that back real quick, and then fish this spot, and then head back. That'll be the day. Let's see if I can do this without hooking myself. These spooks are apparently legendary for hooking their operators. Almost got myself in the neck one morning. Where was I? Was I fishing? I think I was fishing Caney Creek. So basically, kind of downstream of where we accessed today. Oh boy, what am I doing wrong? There we go. Alright, let's get this back on. See if we can get a bass on top water on the way back. I think we've been producing strikes with it. We just got to find the fish that we want to catch. I think it's doing fine as puller though. I don't think we need to swap. If we do, it'll probably be to the sorry, one sec. There we go. My back is still giving me issues. The other streams were test streams that didn't work out, so I won't post them. I talked about it in that. I pulled something in my back at Hot Springs Creek one day about a week ago. Actually, exactly a week ago. I think it was last Friday morning. And releasing a fish, came back up, and something just hasn't been right since. So went to doc, put me on a steroid pack, and it's getting better, but it's still very touchy, especially ups and downs, bending over, stuff like that, lifting, tightening my core. Anyway, let's see if we can find a bass. That's Tenmile Creek right there on the left. A little bit of flow through here. There's deep pockets all the way around this beach. I talk about it in the one of the first, or the last video I put out, I think. It was one of the first times fishing out here, actually. There's just like a deep pool kind of surrounding this outlet, and you gotta kind of walk down here, get out on the right side to be able to walk upstream. Otherwise, you start out at least waist deep. And when this thing gets deep, it's really too deep to wade, at least starting up here. It's actually just kind of insane how different the water is from when we first started fishing it. Some of this was just, you know, inaccessible, and now it's our main fishing outlet. I certainly fish the South Fork more than anything. It's just the most convenient. And I only have 2 hours-ish every morning to fish, so. Oh. Some fish like it. I wish I could find the bass. Kind of giving it a funky action. Yeah, this is the pool. Actually, it's super shallow. Holy moly! This is the pool. Oh no, we're down like 3 foot. It just completely shifts the landscape. It changes every week, man. It's just something different. It's so cool to see. I wish I knew where the fish were. I've been struggling to find the bass lately. Here you go, babe. You can see everything. You can see everything we were fishing that day. There's a bass. That sounded like a bass strike. Something came up at it again. It's still looking at it. Might be a sunfish now, but something I could see following it still. Yep, they're slapping at it, man. I think they're getting suspicious. He missed it. That was a good splash. I was actually looking off in the distance. I still tried to jerk it, but probably would have missed it either way. I was talking to Mom about the videos, and she was saying something about, you know, possibly maybe a head mount might be worth considering. Unfortunately, I feel like I initially bypassed it because I suffer from migraines and I didn't want the extra tension on my neck to, you know, induce migraines. And she was saying that, you know, you might be facing the footage more rather than it being chest mounted, because I turn after I cast to, you know, jig the lure or whatever. So I normally do this and I end up missing a bunch of the splashes, you know. And it's real awkward to turn like this. Something came up and grabbed it while it was actioning. There was no splash. Ooh, got him in the back. Right in the dorsal. I mean, if I want to fish with a fish, this is how you do it. It's got pretty color to him. I'm gonna snap a pic. We're not gonna be able to catch too many more fish today, so this will be kind of like wrapping up the day probably. Sit still. Nice. All right. Anyway, I was telling her that when I'm out here, you can't see me because it's chest mounted, but I'm usually like off staring in the distance anyway. I told her you'd probably see more footage of sky than water because I'm up, you know, looking around the entire time. I'm not just staring at where my lure is, you know. So I should be, but I'm not. There's another big splash over here. I'm gonna try to get whatever that is. It may have been the same fish. Oh boy. So we'll give this a couple casts and we're gonna have to start moving back. We're gonna get back at a reasonable time. Kind of flubbed that cast. Let's see if I can maybe cast on the left side of the limb. Decent-ish. So I'm still trying to grab it. Some fish. All right. Drag it over the log. That's good. If the fish was there, it would have been great. Keep getting wrapped up. Treble hook maintenance accounts for at least 10-15 minutes of fishing time every day. Yeah, let's do that again. Make a bunch of racket coming in and pause. See if he wants it. Try and send it a little further up again. Yeah, that was beautiful. Man, really missed it. That's unfortunate. I think that would have been a good fish. Would have been a great catch for the day. There's some fish tapping it still. Okay. Oh boy. Tried to go a little bit left. Excellent. Fishable. Right? No, wrapped up on treble. Yeah, maybe not anymore. That ain't working. All right. I'll do one more up and then we gotta walk. Just try and get deep. Unfortunate. foam splash 2 times. Not even casting where I really want to cast. I want to get, boy, I keep going hard right or hard left. I wanted to get back and near that white branch as my last cast. All right, my battery died. I didn't consider what was going to happen when the battery in the GoPro runs out. But like I said before, streaming from it gives me not very much control of the stream. I can't really do anything with it other than turn it off and on anyway. So I guess if I want to have a non-interruptible stream for GoPro batteries for longer sessions, I need to get a power bank anyway, and that's not where I'm meant to cast. I don't have a whole lot of time to get through here. It's later than I thought it was. I thought it was like 45. It's 55. So I gotta get moving. I couldn't tell what that was. A little sunfish of some sort, I guess. There wasn't a whole lot of bass in this area, I don't think, on the way down. Oh, get out of that, get out of that. Nice. Probably not fishable. I want to put one back by that little log if I can. Oh, look at that. I thought it was going to be one of those, got to walk back and unsnag it. There's fish coming out, looking at it. No. Too small to actually get it, I think. One of them was a little bass, but I think he hesitated after the first strike. See, there's plenty of fish in the water still. You just gotta find them, man. Throw them what they want. There's been plenty of mornings of getting skunked, or you know, just catching 2 or 3 tiny sunfish. Effectively the same thing. I'm not even talking about the ones that barely bend your rod. I'm talking about the quarter, $half size ones that you don't even really know are there half the time. I have a good ways to walk. there should be some bass in here somewhere. I'll just be fishing the wrong thing. Something darted towards us and then turned. I don't know if that was a sucker fish spooking out or not, but it looked like it was headed towards the lure. No? Okay. What do you mean there's no bass back there? Where are the fish if not back there? What about the log? Let's drop off the branch. Fish in here moving now. More of them seem to be on the little wide right there. But a few of them seem to be more on the shallow side than the deep side. Oh, brother. Okay, easy enough. I'm really trying to get myself snagged up this morning, man. The leaf didn't come off. Got another one. All right, fine. I'll do it. Sometimes I get a little lazy. Just got hung up in some trash or something. I don't know what. Just gives it a funky action, man. Can't make it jiggle. searching for top water, man, all the time. Catch a few fish to fill the void for the day, and then just try and get some sweet splashes. That's what I'm trying to do, I guess. It's not just about catching the fish, it's just, you know, it's about here going for a walk, and nature is peaceful too, so it's not just the fishing. But I do like to catch a few fish every time I come out. Anybody else see that wake? I don't know what kind of fish that was. I couldn't see it, but we're going to try and see if he wants a spook. Don't seem to be the case. Got hooked up a little branch. Maybe up by the brush. I didn't let that go far enough. The bail closed. Unfortunately, I kind of have to work it a little quick. Yeah. Alright, well, whatever he was fairly large, it looked like. That's something. Something swimming across up there. Might be that beaver that splashed his tail earlier. I forget where that was, but that was a thing that happened. Fish right there, man. I gotta get behind these logs and stuff. There's algae in the way. And the logs themselves are snag zones. Still trying to figure out the technique. Just giving it the action versus pausing it or just retrieving it the whole way. Long swipes versus the short and fast, you know. Still trying to figure out what entices the fish more. I think casting where they are is most of the issue. A lot of it's still open, you know, there's not really a whole lot for the fish to hide in. There's no depth. The logs are just sitting on top of the sand in a lot of areas. On top of the sand and rocks, no gaps or anything for them to go in. And other than that, it's just like algae, grass, whatever you want to call this. Okay, well, that's that. This little stretch ahead of us, and then I think we're going to be basically back. Didn't see anything spook out near me anyway. I keep releasing this thing a little early. Alright. Yeah, there we go. Got it. Eventually. I think I've walked around this section before. It's about knee deep right there, just over my knees. Should have stuck with the worm. Should have stayed on the worm. I would have caught all kinds of fish. There certainly was not a lack of them today, which is great to see. Some of the accesses have been pretty unproductive lately. You can hide them back here. Shallow, a lot of algae. Trying to get coming back up in it, looks like. Yeah. Smash them. Felt like a little sunfish got himself hooked up for a second. All right, one day we're gonna land our monster bass in the top water out here. Should be just about back. Oh yeah, I need to keep moving. I apologize. I will be back soon, babe. Yeah, I'm almost to this property. A bunch of small pops at it, man. I don't think they hate it. Just struggling to find the big bass or the big fish. Oh boy. Looks like treble hook maintenance. That. Right up under it. What do you mean there's no fish there? What do you mean? Someone grabbed it. Oh, there's some fish. Okay. How cool would it be to have an aquarium full of these? Some of these natural river rocks and stuff, you know? It'd be real neat. There we go. That was a good swipe. Let me make sure I drag him pretty good to make sure he doesn't get off those hooks. Make sure I got a good hook set on him. Not a big splash. He's a decent fish. Not a real big splash though. That's okay. That's the best. He got off right at the edge. It was almost your lucky day, buddy. Almost your lucky day. That's about a pound fish right there. Pound and a quarter. Where are you supposed to hook them if they don't have a hole in their lip from the hook? Are you supposed to just wrap it up under the gill plate? Be scared to damage their gills. Un momento, por favor. Yeah, I'd say it's about a pound. Nice fish. Good way to end the day. We are just about back, so. Good way to end the day. I didn't pay a whole lot of attention. I think that was a largemouth. I should be able to tell the difference when I go back and look. I just wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to it. Oh, that was a strike. Missed him though. There's more than one. Yeah. Gave up. He went back there. That would have been a good catch too. Is that a big old snake? That's a big old snake. Something popped up my lure. Got wrapped up because I'm looking at the snake. I don't know what kind of snake it is. Sorry, I'm all wrapped up here. Look at that. No fish in there? Are you kidding me? Oh, I saw something big just swipe the bottom right there. Yeah, that looks like a bottom sucker or something. That don't look like a bass. All right. Ooh. That looked like a big white belly swiping at something. That didn't look like a bottom sucker. He wasn't just rolling to get stuff off the bottom. He was trying to chase something through the water. Let's see. What kind of snake is that? Where did he go? Poor dude swam all the way across and then got chased back. I am kind of lost. Let me check the map. I need to head back. This doesn't look familiar. I think I entered from this side of this beach maybe. So I'm gonna kill the stream. Thanks for watching. I'll put this one up if maybe. I didn't really catch a whole lot of fish, kind of boring stream, but we'll try it again with not just top water. We'll fish some good catching stuff through here. Goodbye.